Thursday. If you are watching this on the playback, I'm Sarah, welcome. And this is a place for people who are deconstructing, who are questioning their faith. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Want a place to hang out and ask questions and just kind of get some support. So hi, welcome. I will be reading just comments. So that's kind of how the live works. So you should be able to see like the comments that come up on the bottom if you are watching this back. So yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. Hi, Jordan. Hey, Dr. Joe. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. Spark, hi. Oh, hey, Autumn. Hey, Max. Hi, hi. Happy Thursday. For anyone who's new, hey, I'm Sarah. Oh, my day was pretty good. I had a lot of meetings, so it was a lot of scheduled stuff. Oh, thanks, Pezzo. Appreciate it. Oh, why did God allow Joseph's brothers to betray him? I mean, yeah, do you want me to answer like what do I think the Christian answer is? Or now that I don't believe, what do I think? Oh, wow, Autumn. Okay, what's exciting to you about it and what's holding you back? Does anyone deserve hell? I don't think so. I think infinite suffering is never just. Hi, Brad. All right, I guess it's time. We only made it 3 minutes and 30 seconds this time. Am I a doctor? I am not a medical doctor, no. Oh man, people are wild. Yeah, Autumn says, all of it really interests me. I'd like to get into it and be a more active member of the non-Christian community, but I'm hesitant due to, well, the Christians. Yeah. Hey, Justin, welcome in. What was I going to say? Oh, Autumn, one possibility is doing like faceless content. That, that might be a way to like ease your way in. Yeah, it is intense though, autumn for sure. Hi, Jackie. Hey, Rachel. Hi, Salty. Absurdist. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, it's a good idea, Autumn. Oh, well, you're welcome, Rachel. Yeah, Justin, I mean, I totally get why people do it. And especially with the current climate, it certainly makes sense. Yeah, and it's a lot to deal with too. I mean, most of the trolling doesn't bother me much, but occasionally it does. Oh, that's interesting, absurdist. Yeah, doing a big reveal, that would be nerve-wracking for me. Oh my gosh, I would love it if Justin would do a British accents. Hello from the Netherlands. Salutations. You could wear a wrestling mask. That is one way to do it. Yeah. That's the point, Justin. Like I can't do a good Elvis imitation. It's terrible. Hello from India. Yeah, no, I'm terrible at any accent. I'm the worst. Hi, Eve. Hello, dyslexia. Well, so Jordan, the answer to your question, like from the Christian perspective, is going to be free will, right? Like that's going to be the answer. Is um, that's why God allows bad things to happen. That's the Christian answer to the problem of evil. Do you really dyslexia? That's awesome. Free Willy. Oh, well, thank you for appreciating my Ross dinosaur impression. I'm waiting for one day Ruby to join in. Jordan, you mean you've been looking like from the point of view of apologists? Yeah, Autumn says, I think I'll start with my personal story maybe and just doing a safe space for non-believers. Because while I grew up in the church, I was lucky enough, I never really believed. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I will tell you from experience that you'll want to label it really clearly if you want it to be for non-believers, because the Christians always come in. Well, Jordan, I mean, to your point though, I haven't heard a lot of Christians even have issue with the fact that Joseph's brothers did him so wrong. They view that as just his brother's actions. Um, and it's almost like a silver lining story, like, well, they did these bad things, but God's gonna make the best of it, kind of thing. Well, hey, Sunvi. Most of the people in the chat here are not believers any longer. So you're welcome here. It just that's how our conversation is going to be. Yeah, Justin says, I blame God. He predestined that shit and gave him the dreams. I mean, it's, you get to go back and forth. Like, God can't interfere. He has to let free will happen. And then he's in control and makes everything turn out good. Yeah, no rapture next week. Is it supposed to be the 23rd or the 24th? I agree with you, Rachel. I think we all have a right to be mad at God. God saves all creation, whether you believe or not. Oh, that's good. Indominus says, what hit me the hardest about growing up Southern Baptist was being told that I'd go to hell once I understood. Yeah, telling children that they deserve hell or there's a possibility that they could go to hell is pretty terrible. Jordan, do you mean you're mad at yourself for not being able to believe any longer? What if we do deserve hell? Well, Kirby, it just wouldn't make sense to me. Hi, Gary. Oh, thanks, Kermit. James says, no one deserves hell. It's a choice. Okay, so we can all just choose not to go then. Yeah, I mean, Autumn, the idea of hell is so terrifying that even if it's not your belief, it still can make people feel afraid. Hi, Joshua. Oh, the upcoming event that I am involved in. That's the Atheist Experience. Justin from Deconstruction Zone and I are hosting that on Sunday evening. That's on the Atheist Experience website. I mean, YouTube page. Sorry, sometimes I'm talking and reading at the same time and I forget what I've said out loud. Well, Sunvi, many religions have lots of tolerance. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, Captain says there's no reason eternal existence should be mandatory. If God exists, he could mercifully just make people that don't want to be with him just not exist anymore. No reason for torment. Yeah, that's the annihilationist perspective. Is that like it's heaven or just nothingness? Which is certainly way better than eternal suffering. You too, Objective. Were we scheduled on purpose as you wouldn't do it if it wasn't him? I mean, Justin was hosting and he invited me to co-host with him. Will I post it on my page also? I have no idea how to do that. If Justin tells me how, sure. Yeah, so Lord Kelvin, you actually can be both agnostic and atheist because they're kind of talking about different things. Whether you are atheist or theist is about whether you believe in God. And then the agnostic versus, I guess, Gnostic is what you know for sure. And so I have both. I sorry, now I'm reading and talking again. Oh yeah. So I say atheist because I don't believe in God, but I also say agnostic because I don't think I can ever know for sure. Justin, can I put like some kind of announcement or something? Or link to it? Skeptical Heretic, hey, welcome. It's so good to see you. You've got this. And honestly, my YouTube videos are pretty hit or miss, but the live feature works pretty well. Alex says, have you not felt the presence of the Almighty God? If God showed you a glimpse of eternity, would you believe? So if God came down and talked to me, I would absolutely believe he was real. So yeah, I mean, if he said, hey, Sarah, come with me, I'm going to show you heaven and show you hell. Here, you can look at them and see them and touch them. I would believe they existed then. Isn't it kind of weird that he doesn't do that? Yes. Skeptical, I do. Should I use your first name or do you prefer not? I'm not sure what your feelings on that are. Okay, cool. Yeah, BK says, I go to AA meetings, been clean for 9 months. Congratulations, by the way. When people share, they attribute the sobriety to having a relationship with God. I'm struggling to relate. What keeps me sober is simply because I'm happier. Well, sincerely and truly amazing job. And I think that's pretty specific to AA, like something that they push is that reliance on a higher power. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but also, I hope people can give themselves credit for all the really hard work that they are doing. So congrats to you. Hmm. Do you know God doesn't exist? No, that's why I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't believe God exists, but I don't think I can know it for sure. Hey, Minnie. Why did you leave Jesus? I didn't. I just stopped believing that he existed. Would you want God to exist if at all possible? Um, I mean, I don't think I would want the Old Testament God to exist. You know, if there was truly a good God, perhaps. Hey, Ghost, thanks for popping in. Yeah, Chimeric, I think it's pretty reasonable that Jesus existed. You said he didn't. No, I said I don't believe he's God. So he probably existed as a human being. I don't think that he resurrected, nor do I think he's divine. Hi, Ehab, good to see you. Yeah. Justin says, I'd prefer an afterlife that doesn't include endless singing to God. That's a lot of singing. Even for someone who enjoys it, I would not want it to be endless. Hi, Meek. Hey, Johnny. Panrek, hello. Yeah, BK, I can completely understand that. Still having the community aspect. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. Krista, hello. Hey Meek. So I don't bring up guests on YouTube, but I do on my TikTok. Josiah, sorry. It's funny when I read all of your usernames, but I also know your other names that you go by. JC says, I think the perfect system is reincarnation. You are reincarnated into a whole new experience. Sounds like heaven to me. That's, oh, I don't know. Do I want to do all this again? It could be good, but you could be reincarnated into a horrible situation, you know? Oh, thanks, Flip. If you die and see something afterwards, will you be apologetic to God? No. Um, I would have a lot of questions for God. Yeah, Ehab, I get a lot of the same comments frequently. Would you be scared? It depends on what I would see, right? You just said if I would see something. But Chimeric, is your God going to have designed me, watched me cry out to him for help, and I asked him to help me believe, and he didn't help me believe, and then knew that I couldn't believe, even though I tried as hard as I could. And then he's going to punish me for eternity because I couldn't believe? That's wild. What if we all deserve hell not because God hates, but because it's the natural state of the universe? How would it be the natural state of the universe? And are we assuming that God still created the universe? Hey, Michelle. Well, if I saw anything, it would prove I was wrong. It would prove that I was wrong about an afterlife, but like, if I saw anything, who knows? Like, is there a God? Is there just an afterlife? Is there an energy? Which God is it? Hi, Trolley. Captain says God will have to listen to an eternity of complaints for me. Alex says, what do you think of God saving the entire creation in the latter end? God becomes all in all. So, I mean, I certainly think it is more just if God saves everyone. I don't know why we had to suffer first, but it would at least be better. So I think that would be more just. Did you lose your faith? Yes, I did. Does the community and support within the church ever feel attractive in the sense, does it ever feel like it would be easier to turn your brain off and believe? Yeah, I mean, it would have been, you know, leaving my community was really hard. And yeah, it would have been so much easier to just keep believing. I just I wasn't capable of doing it. You know, I couldn't live that way. Ruby's good. John, I have a frequently asked questions playlist on my page, and I have a whole video going over my backstory. Hi, Miles. Winter, hello. Why does God create people if they may end up in hell? I don't think there's a good reason. I think the discussion gets complicated where I think Christians are using it as evidence that people have free will. I don't think it really is, though. I don't think that there's any reason for God to create someone if he knows ahead of time that they're going to end up in hell. Unbridled, if you want to be kind, you need to learn how to listen to other people. There are ways that you can be kind and thoughtful. Oh no, you have not missed checkers. Kayla says, I believe in God, but I don't feel aligned with religion. Also the idea of hell. Oh, religion, also the idea of hell. And my family is Jehovah's Witness. I also don't resonate with. Do you ever have a void in your heart that you struggle with losing faith? So the short answer is no. I did have a void with community, you know, and time. Like my faith took up an enormous amount of time. And certainly having to adjust to my life being so, I don't know, it just felt really turned upside down, was a lot. But I don't have like this emptiness or anything. You guys want to see checkers? All right, let's see if we can find her. Hi, Chex. What you doing? She's hiding under a chair. Hi, baby. Oops. Oh, what did I press? Ah. Hello. You want to come say hi? Oh, she's sleeping. Well, if she comes and says hi, I will, I'll let you see her. She's in like a little ball. It is a rabbit, indeed. Super chat for lettuce? Yes, absolutely. Always. Yeah, Kayla says, I only ask because I have a void, given I also don't believe fully as much as my Christian family. Yeah, and I think, I mean, that certainly makes you feel separated from your family. And that's in itself hard. Oh, bearded. Hey. Matthew says, if you're telling an ex-Christian Jesus is waiting with open arms, you can bet your life that ex-Christian has genuinely tried to give themselves over to Jesus thousands of times. Yeah, I agree. Do you feel like your life was more regimented? I don't know that I would use the word regimented, but I did. I was definitely really into like spiritual warfare, and it felt like everything was like a super big deal all the time, which was exhausting. When you stop believing in God, were you mad at yourself, or is it just me? Honestly, I think I was mad. Like I felt hoodwinked, and I was mad about that. Yeah, Winter says, I was way more confused as a believer, for sure. A lot more cognitive dissonance and stuff. Glad I'm out now. I mean, yeah, Ehab, to your point, you know, as humans, our moral codes have certainly evolved a lot. Did you have to deconstruct from the fear of hell? If so, how? So for me, it was like when I finally ended up in that place that I stopped believing in God, I genuinely stopped believing in hell. Like it suddenly seemed cartoonishly evil, and illogical. Well, yeah, I mean, so Doug, like, I guess I should clarify. When I say I felt like everything was a big deal, it was that I felt like there was some big thing that God needed me to do, and I just had to figure out what it was, and I was being attacked by demons who were trying to get in the way of this big thing, and actually nothing was happening, right? Like this was all happening in my head. Versus now, yes, that the stakes have just totally changed. Like eternal life is no longer at stake. So in that sense, the stakes are lowered. However, this life being all there is, in a way, raises the stakes. And yeah, the current world right now is high stakes and terrifying. So yeah, it's just sort of like a change in perspective. Do you believe in speaking to ghosts like ancestors or guardian angels? It's not something I do. I don't have any evidence that they exist. That being said, like I'm not ever gonna like poo-poo somebody's spiritual practice. I think part of the fact that I'm an agnostic atheist is that it's true, I don't believe in God, and I don't think I believe in anything supernatural. And also, I can't prove it, So who am I to say that those things couldn't exist? Yay, Charles. Well, thanks. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry I can't read your name, but thanks for coming. Oh, Caliera. Caliera? Oh, that's beautiful. How did you stop being mad at yourself? Truly, Jordan, therapy. Quite a bit of therapy, honestly. I found therapy to be super helpful. And it was just really nice to have this other perspective to help me kind of look at my internal dialogue differently. So if that is something you have access to, I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, thanks, Charles. Yeah. Kayla said, I always wondered why we were brought here without asking, yet we're held to the standard that could punish us forever. What was the point of coming to Earth in the first place? Absolutely, Kayla. It seems totally unfair that you know we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask to be put in this situation. Hi, TNC. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I do think therapy can be beneficial for lots of people. Yeah, Gnosticism I don't fully understand, but I have heard of it. Yes. Hi, Essie. Hmm. What is your opinion on once saved, always saved? I've actually heard it be used in two different ways. I think if you're talking to like Orthodox Catholicism versus Protestantism, then the conversation is, do you have to continually earn your salvation, or once you've confessed, your salvation is secure? That's one way to have the conversation. And then separately, the just kind of internal Protestant way to have the conversation is, what if you're saved and then you fall away from the faith? Are you still saved? Um, so I believed that once you confessed your sins and asked Jesus into your heart, you had salvation and you didn't have to like keep earning it. Um, but I think I believed that like if you actually like renounced your faith, then no, you weren't saved anymore. Oh, an ex-Southern Baptist, yeah. How do I become an atheist without nihilism? Joshua, do you follow Brittany Hartley? Her like handle is no nonsense spirituality, and she's just great about talking about nihilism. She has a couple degrees in the area, and really, I don't know, I just think she's got a really good perspective on it. So I would definitely recommend giving her a follow. Why does nihilism have such a bad name? Um, because it's associated with hopelessness. I don't think it has to be, but that's where the negative connotation comes from. Yeah, you're welcome, Kayla. My take on Jehovah's Witnesses, I mean, it from the outside just appears to be a sect of Christianity that is pretty high control. Um, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's really difficult to leave. Um, and like there's a high cost of leaving. And I think probably depending on where you're practicing it, a lot of control within the religion. You're welcome, Emma. Yeah, SC said, would be better if there was a God that didn't have to play games with its creation and demand worship and attendance. Yeah, so absurdist, I mean, I don't think nihilism is inherently a bad thing. I don't quote me on this, but I think there is some research about nihilism and a higher incidence of like maybe depression or symptoms of hopelessness. But I don't know. I would need to check that. So that's what I'm thinking of. But I mean, I agree it's not like an evil or bad thing. Hi, Brenda. Do you have a certain topic on this platform like in your other one? I put it like there's not really an easy place to put it. So the I guess wherever it pops up for you, like the little title I put, no one deserves hell. Is it absurdist? I honestly, I haven't read the research. I'm trying to like remember what I heard about the research. So yeah, definitely don't take my word on it. Worship is a word meaning to make worthy of your time. So does that mean like you worship anything you make time for? Skeletor. I see. So Rick, you think that you personally worship your friends and family, you worship your work, you worship the chores you do around your house? Yeah, Pentecostal can be a lot, Joshua, for sure. Even them, Miles, I don't think that any human deserves infinite suffering. Hi, good morning. Oh, Kayla, that's so hard. Oh, well, Miles, that's fine. Yeah, people ask me questions like that all the time. Jordan, if God is real, it would be crazy for him to hate you for just using the brain that he gave you in the way that he designed it. Like, that's not love. Rick, your definition of worship doesn't make sense in that it means like well, let me stop there. I'm assuming you're a Christian. I could be incorrect. So let me start there. Are you a Christian? Yeah, what if there's more than one God? Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. Which one's a Jordan Peterson talking point? Oh, that's the definition of worship that Jordan Peterson uses. Oy. Hey, Ekta. You have a deep relationship with Jesus. Okay. So, Rick, Jesus and God don't like it when you worship anything else. But your definition means you worship all kinds of things. It sounds like you'd be making God really unhappy all the time. Yeah, Raging says, I mean, there's more than one God in the Bible. Yeah, Rick, how much did God like it when people worshiped other gods? Not so much. Yeah, LX says forcing yourself to be Christian is not good for your mental health. Speaking from 8 to 9 years of experience. Absolutely. Trying to force yourself to be someone you aren't is, yeah, uniquely terrible for your mental health. SC, it is a funny way to have a conversation for sure. What if God is nature or the universe? I mean, there are certainly people who view it that way. You know, some view it like pantheism. Some other people just sort of view it like a shared energy, a shared consciousness. Rick, I don't need to be healed. Aw, marmalade and 2 slices of warm bread. That's lovely. Yeah, I understand that, Miles. I mean, I think so many people do have a belief in some sort of supernatural, and a lot of it does come from your own experiences, right? Like what your life has been like and what you've seen. So I get that. Yeah. Jordan, I'll be back on my channel on Tuesday, and Sunday I'll be on the Atheist Experience. Definitely not Jesus. In pantheism, all creatures will eventually. Oh, is that, I mean, what do you call it if you just believe in many gods? Yes, I will be on AXP with Justin on Sunday. Thanks. The 21st of September. I got you, Minnie. Um, it starts at 5:30 Eastern time. Thanks. Yes, please come. Well, thank you, Miles. I appreciate that. Raging says, I would consider myself an agnostic theist, but I would get some Christians tell me that being agnostic is like being lukewarm and God doesn't like that. Yeah, some Christians will tell you that, but what are you going to do? Doug says, did you engage with anything outside this community, atheism related, or when you were first leaving? So, yeah, or did you do it alone? I stopped believing in God in 2009. And so there was nothing, right? Like the only social media that existed was Facebook, and it wasn't really much back then, So yeah, no, I had no community to connect to at all. I was just me, all by myself. Eve says, I left Christianity before the internet existed. Well done. MySpace, fair enough. Fair enough. You're right. Medea, my like backstory is on my page. I have an FAQ playlist, and yeah, you can find it there. No, you can watch it over there. I read a few books about atheism, but and back then there weren't that many. It was really dominated by antagonistic men, right? Like Richard Dawkins had a book, Dan Barker, Christopher Hitchens, and smart guys, but it just was not super my vibe. Like I just didn't connect to that. So no, I read some blogs. Exactly, SC. Hi, Aaron. Yeah, LX, that makes sense. Or LVX, sorry about that. Very humble, Charles. Well, listen, friends, I actually do need to call it a night. Thank you guys so much for such a lovely conversation. Um, Please, yes, tune in on Sunday to the Atheist Experience. I will be hosting with Justin from Deconstruction Zone. So go on the YouTube page for the Atheist Experience, and we will be there on Sunday. Otherwise, you can find me on TikTok, and I will be back here next Tuesday evening. So have, oh, you missed checkers. um, how can I tell? Um, about what, Jordan? Here, we'll find checkers real quick before we go. Are you still sleeping? Hi, bye. Oops. Ooh, I keep pressing this. It's crazy. Oh, oops. Hi. You want to say hello? Oh, you were still sleeping? Okay. Say hello to your friends. All right. Good night. She's snoozling. Yeah, definitely asleep. Oh, thanks, Miles. Yes, she is such a loaf. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And sometimes she turns into like a bread roll. Thanks, Miles, for the super chat. Okay, I actually have, I have some cilantro. She loves cilantro. Okay. Little bunny. Little bunny, do you want some cilantro? Do you want some? Girlfriend, you are out. Here. Hang on one sec. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there you go. Crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. Yay. Well, for the future, yes, any super chats, I am happy to feed the bunny. Oh, Jordan, I have to tell you, Jordan, that therapists hear that all the time. And if you are, there is a website called seculartherapy.org, where you can find therapists that are not like, don't use their religion to do therapy. There are, thankyou.org. There are also therapists that specialize in religious trauma. So yeah, that will not be a big deal to a therapist. They will totally understand. And there are a lot of people like us in therapy who used to believe and now we don't. She inhaled all. That's it, hon. Did you eat it all? Well done. Oh, big stretch. Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for hanging out. And again, come see us on Sunday. That is not a cat. I agree. Yeah, you're so welcome. And I hope you all have a good night.